scholars. We're back again with Read Aloud. We're going to continue Charlotte's Web. We're going to read chapter 7 today. But first, we need to make sure we go over character perspective. Character perspective is what a character thinks or believes to be true about another character, about the conflict, or a specific moment in the text. And when you're looking for that text evidence, you need to always ask yourself, what did the character do? What did the character say? And how does the character feel? We already know the definition of character perspective. Today, we're going to look at Wilbur's perspective and Charlotte's perspective. We left off with knowing that during Thanksgiving, Wilbur might be killed. Remember, scholars, you can pause the video at any time and making sure that your big idea and evidence chart looks just like Miss McKinney's. You can pause this video so you can copy what it says on the board. So we're going to continue with chapter 7, Bad News in Charlotte's Web. Here's our first big idea. Wilbur thinks the news is terrible. He wants someone to help him so he doesn't have to die. So we need to find text evidence that supports our big idea about Wilbur thinking that this is horrible news and he wants someone to help him. Wilbur likes Charlotte better and better each day. Her campaign against insects seemed sensible and useful. Hardly anybody around the farm had a good word to say for a fly. Flies spent their time pestering others. The cows hated them. The horses detested them. The sheep loathed them. Mr. and Mrs. Zuckerman were always complaining about them and putting up screens. Wilbur admired the way Charlotte managed. He was particularly glad that she always put her victim to sleep before eating it. "It's real thoughtful of you to do that, Charlotte," he said. "Yes," she replied in her sweet musical voice. "I always give them an anesthetic so they won't feel the pain. It's a little service that I throw in." As the days went by, Wilbur grew and grew. He ate 3 big meals a day. He spent long hours lying on his side, half asleep, half pleasant dreams. He enjoyed good health and he gained a lot of weight. Scholars, I want you to think about, how does Wilbur feel about Charlotte killing flies now? I remember at first in the story, Wilbur was not for it. He thought that Charlotte was evil for killing the insects and eating them. But Charlotte explained to him that that is how she eats. She eats the insects. So now Wilbur is starting to feel a little bit better about him being able to put the flies to sleep first. Then Charlotte can eat the insects. One afternoon, when Fern was sitting on her stool, the oldest sheep walked into the barn and stopped to pay a call on Wilbur. "Hello," she said. "Seems to me you're putting on weight." "Yes, I guess I am," replied Wilbur. "At my age, it's a good idea to keep gaining." "Just the same, I don't envy you," said the old sheep. "You know why they're fattening you up, don't you?" "No," said Wilbur. "Well, I don't like to spread bad news," said the sheep, "but they're fattening you up because they're going to kill you. That's why." Well, scholars, now I'm going to stop and I want you to think about the new information that the sheep just told us. The information that the sheep just revealed is they're making Wilbur eat a lot of food and making him good and fat because they're planning to kill him for Thanksgiving. Well, let's keep reading. "They're going to what?" screamed Wilbur. Fern grew rigid on her stool. "Kill you? Turn you into smoked bacon and ham," continued the old sheep. "Almost all young pigs get murdered by the farmer as soon as the real cold weather sets in. There's a regular conspiracy around here to kill you at Christmas time." Whoa, I thought it was Thanksgiving. It's Christmas time. That's why it's important to read. "Everyone is in the plot. Lurvy, Zuckerman, and John Arable." Uh-oh. I know that John Arable is Fern's dad. Whoa, let's keep reading. "Mr. Arable," sobbed Wilbur. "Fern's father?" "Certainly. When a pig is to be butchered, everybody helps. I'm an old sheep and I can see the same thing, same business year after year. Arable arrives with his 22, shoots the stop, screamed Wilbur. I don't want to die. Save me. Somebody, save me. Fern was just about to jump up when a voice was heard. Be quiet, Wilbur, said Charlotte, who had been listening to this awful conversation. Well, I found a new piece of evidence that can go with my big idea. Wilbur thinks that this is horrible news. He wants someone to help him so he doesn't have to die. So here's my first piece of evidence. Don't forget, you need to write the page number. And I'm taking this right out of the book. Page page 50. And page 50 says, don't forget your quotations. Stop! Screamed Wilbur. I don't want to die. Save me. Somebody. Save me. Well, that evidence is telling me that Wilbur thinks that this is horrible news and he wants someone to save him. Let's keep reading to see if we find another piece of evidence. I am right here with the picture. I can't be quiet, screamed Wilbur, racing up and down. I don't want to be killed. I don't want to die. Is this true what the old sheep says, Charlotte? Is it true that they're going to kill me when the cold weather comes? Well, said the spider, plucking thoughtfully at her web. The old sheep has been around the barn a long time. She has seen many spring pigs come and go. If she says they plan to kill you, I'm sure it's true. It's also the dirtiest trick I ever heard of. What people don't think of. Wilbur burst into tears. I don't want to die, he moaned. I found another piece of evidence. Let me keep reading. I want to stay alive right here with my comfortable manure pile and all of my friends. I want to breathe the beautiful air and lie in the beautiful sun. Whoa. I found my next piece of evidence on page 51. So I'm going to make sure that I write page 51, then my quotation marks. Wilbur burst into tears. Remember, you can pause the video to make sure that you're keeping up. Wilbur burst into tears. I don't want to die. I want to stay alive. And I'm going to leave that there. Now we know Wilbur's perspective of him not wanting to die for Christmas time to be eaten as ham and bacon. Let's keep reading. You're certainly making a beautiful noise, snapped the old sheep. I don't want to die, screamed Wilbur, throwing himself on the ground. You shall not die, said Charlotte briskly. What? Really? cried Wilbur. Who's going to save me? I am, said Charlotte. How? asked Wilbur. That remains to be seen, but I am going to save you, and I want you to quiet down immediately. You're crying in a childish way. Stop your crying. Stand hysterics. I can't stand hysterics. I think you have another piece of evidence, but I'm not going to tell you where it goes. Scholars, now you're going to look at your next big idea. Charlotte is determined to help Wilbur. She thinks that Wilbur is being too dramatic. She stays calm so she can help him. I need you to find that next piece of evidence. In your seesaw activity, you're going to fill in this text evidence here and to support your big idea. Make sure that you write the page number and you need to use your quotation marks in the beginning and at the end. Capiche? Can't wait to see your work.